The Middle East is a powder keg. Tensions are escalating rapidly between Israel and Hezbollah. Recent clashes and Hezbollah's defiance of United Nations resolutions have heightened the risk of war. The situation is volatile and dangerous. The world watches with bated breath. Hezbollah's military arsenal supplied by Iran poses a direct threat to Israel. The IDF is on high alert, prepared for any eventuality. Israel has threatened preemptive strikes against Hezbollah targets. The specter of war hangs heavy in the air. Hezbollah, Arabic for Party of God, is a powerful Shiite militant group and political party based in Lebanon. Founded in 1982 during the Lebanese Civil War, Hezbollah is staunchly opposed to Israel and has been designated a terrorist organization by several Western countries. Hezbollah's military wing has evolved significantly since its inception. It now possesses an estimated 150,000 rockets and missiles, some capable of striking deep within Israeli territory. The group also has a sophisticated drone program, used for both surveillance and attacks. Beyond its weaponry, Hezbollah has dug in deep within Lebanon. It has created a network of tunnels, bunkers, and hidden launch sites, making it difficult for Israel to target its infrastructure. Hezbollah's fighters are battle-hardened and well-trained, experienced in urban warfare and guerrilla tactics. Hezbollah's strength lies not only in its military capabilities but also in its popular support. The group provides social services, education, and healthcare to a significant portion of Lebanon's Shiite population. This has earned it the loyalty of many, making it a formidable force in Lebanese politics. Israel is taking the threat posed by Hezbollah very seriously. The IDF, considered one of the most advanced militaries in the world, is preparing for a potential conflict on multiple fronts. Israel is also investing heavily in its missile defense systems. Israel has threatened preemptive strikes against Hezbollah targets in Lebanon, including weapons depots and command centers. The IDF has also conducted airstrikes against suspected Hezbollah facilities in Syria, aiming to disrupt the group's supply lines. Despite its military superiority, Israel is wary of a full-scale war with Hezbollah. Such a conflict would be extremely costly in terms of both civilian and military casualties. Moreover, Israel is aware of the risk of a wider regional war, with Iran potentially intervening on behalf of Hezbollah. Israel's strategy is therefore one of deterrence and containment. It seeks to prevent Hezbollah from launching attacks while also degrading the group's capabilities. Israel is also working diplomatically to isolate Hezbollah and limit its access to weapons and funding. Tensions between Israel and Hezbollah reached a fever pitch in October 2023. Following a series of attacks by Hamas, another Palestinian militant group based in Gaza, Israel feared that Hezbollah would exploit the situation and launch its own offensive. The situation was extremely tense, with both sides on high alert. The slightest provocation could have triggered a major escalation. The international community watched with deep concern, urging both sides to exercise restraint. Israel came close to launching preemptive strikes against Hezbollah targets in Lebanon. However, cooler heads prevailed, and a full-blown conflict was averted. The incident, however, served as a stark reminder of how easily the situation could spiral out of control. The October crisis highlighted the need for a political solution to the conflict. Military action alone cannot bring lasting peace. A negotiated settlement, however difficult to achieve, is the only way to break the cycle of violence and mistrust. Section 5. Pagers as weapons, a new kind of warfare. In a shocking turn of events, hundreds of pagers exploded across Lebanon, causing widespread panic and chaos. The explosions, which targeted Hezbollah operatives, resulted in numerous casualties and significant damage to infrastructure. The incident sent shock waves through the region. The use of pagers as weapons was a new and unsettling development. It demonstrated the lengths to which some actors were willing to go to target their enemies. The attacks were widely condemned as acts of terrorism, and the international community demanded a full investigation. While no group claimed responsibility for the pager attacks, suspicions immediately fell on Israel. The timing of the explosions, coming shortly after Israel issued a warning of an impending escalation in its campaign against Hezbollah, fueled speculation of Israeli involvement. The pager attacks highlighted the asymmetric nature of the conflict. Hezbollah and its allies are increasingly resorting to unconventional tactics, such as using improvised explosive devices and drones to target their enemies. This makes the conflict even more unpredictable and dangerous. Section 6. The world reacts, calls for calm and restraint. The international community reacted with alarm to the escalating tensions in the Middle East. World leaders condemned the violence and called for restraint from all parties. The United Nations urged a de-escalation of tensions and a return to dialogue. The United States, a staunch ally of Israel, expressed its unwavering support for Israel's right to defend itself, but also stressed the need to avoid civilian casualties. The European Union called for a ceasefire and a negotiated settlement to the conflict. Russia, which has close ties to both Israel and Iran, offered to mediate between the parties. China, another major power with interests in the region, also urged restraint and a peaceful resolution to the crisis. The international community's response highlighted the global significance of the conflict. A war in the Middle East would have far-reaching consequences, impacting global energy markets, triggering refugee crises, and potentially drawing in other world powers. Section 7. A wider war? The looming shadow of Iran. One of the most worrying aspects of the escalating tensions between Israel and Hezbollah is the potential for a wider regional war. Iran, Hezbollah's main backer, has repeatedly vowed to retaliate against Israel if its interests in the region are threatened. Iran has provided Hezbollah with significant financial and military support, including advanced missiles and drones. Iran also has its own military assets in the region, including ballistic missiles capable of reaching Israel. Israel has made it clear that it considers Iran's nuclear program an existential threat. Israel has also conducted airstrikes against Iranian targets in Syria, aiming to prevent Iran from establishing a permanent military presence there. The possibility of a direct confrontation between Israel and Iran is a nightmare scenario. Such a conflict would be devastating for the entire region and could easily escalate into a wider war, drawing in the United States and other global powers. Section 8. Turkey's Gambit, a Muslim NATO. Adding another layer of complexity to the already volatile situation in the Middle East is Turkey's proposal to create a Muslim NATO equivalent. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has long been critical of NATO and has sought to position Turkey as a leader in the Muslim world. Erdogan's proposal has been met with mixed reactions. Some Muslim-majority countries, such as Pakistan and Malaysia, have expressed interest in the idea. Others, however, are wary of Turkey's ambitions and see the proposal as divisive. The creation of a Muslim NATO would have significant implications for the balance of power in the Middle East. It could potentially challenge the existing security architecture in the region, which is dominated by the United States and its allies. It remains to be seen whether Erdogan's proposal will gain traction. However, the very fact that it has been put forward is indicative of the shifting sands in the Middle East and the desire among some countries to forge new alliances. Section 9. The Caucasus Conundrum, Iran and Russia at odds. Adding further fuel to the fire are the simmering tensions between Iran and Russia over the status of the Caucasus region. The Caucasus, a strategically important region located at the crossroads of Europe and Asia, has long been a source of geopolitical rivalry. Iran and Russia have both sought to expand their influence in the Caucasus. Iran has close ties to Armenia, while Russia has a military base in Armenia and is a close ally of Azerbaijan. The two countries have clashed over the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict, a territorial dispute between Armenia and Azerbaijan. Iran is concerned about Russia's growing military presence in the Caucasus. Iran fears that Russia is seeking to establish a sphere of influence in the region and undermine Iran's interests. The tensions between Iran and Russia have implications for the wider Middle East. Russia's intervention in the Syrian civil war on behalf of President Bashar al-Assad has brought Russian and Iranian forces into close proximity. This has increased the risk of miscalculation and escalation. Section 10. A Tangled Web, Alliances and Animosities. The Middle East is a region of complex and shifting alliances. This makes the region volatile and unpredictable. The United States remains the most powerful external actor. Russia has emerged as a major player in recent years. China is expanding its footprint, investing heavily in infrastructure. The complex web of alliances makes it difficult to predict events. Diplomacy or disaster? Diplomacy remains the only viable path to peace in the Middle East. The international community must engage in a concerted effort to bring the parties to the negotiating table. Dialogue is essential to build trust and find common ground. A lasting peace requires compromise and moving beyond past grievances. The alternative to diplomacy is unthinkable. The time for action is now.